Hey YouTube, this is the second prison talk video. Let's jump right in it and I'll show you what to do. Alright, the first thing you want to do is go to CRC, get your VIN number, get transported to another prison fastly and emotionally as possible. It usually takes about 3 months to do it, maybe even less, just depends on how good of a person you are. And if you don't get in trouble that much at all, you'll survive prison pretty fast. Alright, so let's jump into it. Let's talk about the commissary. We'll jump that in there. The commissary, you could buy anything on commissary as long as you got the money on your books or on payroll. Some prisons have it where the first time I went to prison, I walked into a building and then it was like a big octagon building where you could leave that octagon and go out into the yard. And the yard was probably like 900 yards, maybe almost a kilometer. And it had like gangs, rapists, murderers, child molesters, killers. They were all in their own groups. And when I walked in there, I didn't know anybody. I was scared because I thought I was going to get killed. It's not a place you want to go. You stay the fuck away from trouble as much as you possibly can. And no matter what you do, don't cause a scene and don't tell anybody. And especially don't talk to guards. You talk to a guard, you're a snitch. They'll start watching you. The prisoners will start watching you. If you even come close to talking to anybody, call a guard or somebody that you know that you can snitch on, don't fucking do it. Because I knew this guy, his name was Chucky, and they put him in the hole. But the guards, they put him in the hole so they could talk to him because he was a snitch. And he was in there for like 10 years. And some guy walked up to him and slit his throat, and that was the last fucking thing I wanted to see. It was very, very crucial people. These people have like no freedom. They're always around the same fucking people. They're just sitting there doing their time, waiting to get the fuck out. But they had it where this guy, the first day I got there, they had a guy, some kid threw a package over. It was probably a foot by a foot, and it had like crack, weed, or should I say cannabis. It had crack, cannabis. It had like heroin in it. It had whatever they wanted in the prison to get, and they picked it up from the yard and they put it between their balls. The cops, what I call them is cops, but they called them guards. And I looked. It was the first day I got there. I walked out in the yard and some kid threw a fucking box over the two gates because there's a gate and then there's a walkway, then there's another gate. Well, this kid, he chucked it and he had been strong as fuck, but he threw that box over there. Some guy grabbed it and two guards ran after him. They ran after him. And when they ran after him, the one guard was paid off. You could pay off guards in prison if you had the money. I think it's like $300 a month to pay them off, which in prison that will last you like almost a year if you do it right. Cigarettes are $200 a pack. You could get rolling tobacco for like $75, I think. It comes with a lighter, brand new lighter, rolling gambler rolling papers, and it comes with like maybe a little patch of fucking tobacco. And you're dealing with like a little pouch of it though that you buy from like the store or something that's costing like $5 or $6. Well, now it's probably 7 or 8 because everything went up in the economy, which shouldn't have happened, but that's another story. So the first thing I want you to do when you get into prison, don't make eye contact with guards. If they see you talking to a guard, they will jump your ass. But you have to talk to some guards to buy TVs. You can buy a PlayStation 5. You just can't play online. There's tablets now in prison. You could get $100 one, which is junk. You could get a $200 one where you could like download movies for like $2. You could download music for like 50 cents a song, and it's on the prison like download thing, like upload and download. And then there's hackers in the prison that were sent there because they hacked into something and fucking got busted or somehow, something like that. Well, when they were doing that, they hacked into. They could hack into, like, you could pay the hacker, go to his cell, take the tablet. He could hack into this prison's network, and like they got restrictions like Pornhub and Jizz Online. Not to like sponsor them, but they got people that could like download a virus into the system, and I think they hack into that server where you could get on, like you could be sitting at your bunk watching porn, but it's restricted to everybody else. But you could have a hacker break into it, jailbreak it, where you could get like retro games. It's kind of like Mario retro games, like all the retro games for like 3 gigs or something. You could just sit there and play them on your tablet. Like, there's a lot of shit that they could do in prison now. But if you go to Richland, like I did, I was pretty scared. Yeah, it smelled real bad because I guess all the blood that was shed up there years ago. But I don't know, it just smelled like piss. But when I went there, my roommate was trying to guide me through it. He was like, "What you do is you stay out of the guard's way. If you got caught with any drugs, throw it away. If they're coming behind you or something and they see you, the thing is, if you don't have possession of that, they can't charge you another thing. Because what they'll do is have mules deliver like drugs to a cell. And they'll be like, all right, I'll get you high off meth for like the entire day. They'll give him like 3 grams of meth to go deliver a bunch of crack or whatever to another cellmate. Because if they get caught, their sponsors are up. They're gone, so there's no drugs coming in. But they'll have these people go and do them for them. And when that happens, if you get busted for delivering that stuff, you will go back to court, sit in jail, and go through the whole court thing and then get recharged and all that shit. You don't want to do all that. So just don't become a mule. Just keep to yourself. Commissary is a good thing because you could trade tattoos. Make sure you buy a clean needle, like needle and thread or something, that somebody would actually have a clean needle, and keep that needle because they can make tattoo guns that will fit needles. You don't want to have a nail. Nails are dirty and rusty and aluminum. You don't want that shit. Or metal or whatever the fuck it is. But like, just listen very closely. If you go to prison and let's say that the first thing you want to buy is have at least $60 on your books or on your payroll or whatever. What you do is you go buy laundry detergent, the big kind, because you will need that. Because if you smell, you'll get beaten up and robbed. If you have too much clothing, because when you walk in there, it's going to be like a flea market. They're going to find your size. You can have food. It's like a fucking flea market, man. I walked in there and I was scared. But some guy was like, how much money you got in your books? I was like, why? He goes, because I could hook you up, man. He goes, what do you want? I could get you anything in this prison for the right price. I was like, well, I need some clothes. He goes, what size you wear? I was like, a 2XL. Okay. He goes, you need pants with that? I was like, yeah. He's like, you pay me one soup. I'll iron your clothing. I'll stitch your cell number into it. And on top of that, I will make damn sure I could cook and clean for you and be your bitch for the next 2 weeks for like 10 soups. And the soups are huge in there. They're bigger than ramen noodles. If you take 2 ramen noodles, that's how big they are. I mean, like, it's serious. You could go and let's see here. You could go to a vending machine and swipe your card and buy stuff like cigarettes and lighters and shit. Because the guards, they don't give a fuck. As long as you pay them off, they don't care. But the ones that do care watch you like a fucking hawk. And every time when they do that, and you find, let's say that they search you because they think you're suspicious, the next time they won't search you because you're clean. And then if you can be clean for like a month or two down the road, they don't actually bother you. It's only when you start trouble or going to start trouble, they watch for that. The crazy thing is, don't trust nobody. Absolutely never trust anybody in that fucker. Because you don't know who's going to save their own ass. The only person I trusted was one person. And he was a guard because I bought a tablet for like $200. And I don't know if my roommate's friend that introduced me, it's been a while, it's been about 9 years, but like when he introduced me to his contact, he was like, "What do you want, man? I get you anything in the fucking prison." I was like, "Well, what do you got?" He goes, "I got a pouch of tobacco with some gambler rolling papers and a lighter for $50. I got a gram of weed for 27 to 50, just depends on what you want." I was like, "Well, how much is it for 14 grams?" He goes, like $300, but he's like, "I know people that could get it lower than that." I was like, "Well, you got a cigarette? I could use a cigarette." And he goes, "Yeah, I got packs of cigarettes. Camel Crushers cost you extra." It's like these people knew that if you walked in there, you'd be fucking set on whatever you wanted. Like if you had $200, you could live like a king for 2 months. I ain't shitting you. You could buy a black garbage bag full of commissary, and you could trade it for like tattoos. You could trade it for like drugs. You could trade it for gambling. Don't ever gamble, but like you could trade it for gambling. The gays will like you, and there are gays in there. I've been hit on a couple times and I didn't like it. Gangs, the gangs you want to stay away from, definitely. If you're doing 20 years, just join a gang because like it's serious with them because they're like Brotherhood, and you got the Mafia, then you got Latin King, not to represent them, but like they got some pretty serious fucking people in there. If you see a skull with the crown on it, stay the fuck away from them. You see a guy with the rose, stay away from them. Even though they're smart people and trusted people, some of them, anybody with a skull, a king, remember, a king of 6 point is crib, and then a 5 point is blood. You stay away from them people. That's how you know. Like everyone's got their own thing. If you're a peacekeeper, the thing that you want to watch out for is names on their knuckles. There usually means that they're a peacekeeper. Because peacekeepers don't fuck with nobody. They get their job done and they go home. They fucking smoke weed or whatever. But if you pay off a guard, you could practically do whatever you want. You could sell drugs. You could be a mule. You could do almost anything you want in prison. But like if you fuck up and some guy like don't like it how you running your style, they'll come and beat you up. So like mix it up a little bit. You gotta mix and match it a little bit. Don't do something all the time because other people are watching you. As soon as you walk in there, they're watching you. Every fucking move you make. And then if you go to the phone to call anybody, you gotta make sure you take your left or right hand, put it over the numbers, and type in your number. Because if not, they'll find out your code and they'll walk up there, type in your code, and use all your phone money. I had that happen a couple of times with me. Because after you do that, if someone does get your number, you have to contact the front desk, have them give you a new code, and you just don't want that. It's like every $5, it's like an hour on there. I think 45 minutes. It's pretty long, but like if you haven't talked to anybody in a long time, you could just call them up and say hi. Like me, I was in jail and I used collect call because like the wait. I don't want to get into that, but like it's serious. You gotta be careful. If someone gives you a shank, lose it because you don't want to get caught with that. That's like 30 to 90 days in the hole. You don't want that. That's by yourself. No one's gonna talk to you. It's a bitch. I mean, it really is. Imagine spending 90 days by yourself in a room you can't get out of. It's horrible. You want your freedom, don't get in trouble. And the thing is, if you're like a predator or a child molester, those kind of people in prison hang out with each other. But like, it's fucked up because like I seen a guy get stabbed because that child molester guy or the raper or whoever he was, a predator, he didn't he was someone's bitch. Because if you're a predator in prison, you're automatically someone's bitch. It doesn't matter who they are. You're their bitch no matter what. Because they don't like it when people rape children and fuck teenagers and all that shit. They don't like that. And what they'll do is that they'll be like, all right, you work for me. You don't get paid anything. You got to cook and clean. You got to do all that shit. And you got to protect me when someone else is fighting. If you don't obey those rules, they beat the shit out of you. And well, anyways, they're gonna beat the shit out of you because like that's how they make you their bitch. So if you're a raper, you're gonna get like 5 to 8 years of hell. I mean, like hell. I seen people get their fucking stabbing going on. I seen people like in prison have guns, like fucking 45 auto with bullets. Like people don't fuck with these people. Guards don't fuck with them either because they're paid off. That's how they get the shit in. I've seen people have cell phones. The cell phones is crazy because, like, once they throw that box over, they could get a phone. They could sell that phone for like $1,000. But remember, you could call unlimited and text and download and do whatever the fuck you want on a phone. But if you get caught with it, you're going to another prison. Whole another fucking game. Your connections are all gone, so you gotta like really hide it, and plus you get a free charger and all that shit because you paid like $1,000 for your phone. Maybe it's $500 now. I'm not sure. It's been a while. But when I went to prison like 7 years ago, I was scared, dude. At first, I was scared, but that's the thing. I didn't know what I was doing. Now I know what to do. And I got 8 years felony probation, but only did 3. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but like, it was bullshit. It was really bullshit. Yeah. So that's my video. I hope you guys have interest in it. It's really helpful to listen to someone that's been there and back, old or young, or whoever they were. My charges were just, they weren't like a predator or molestation or whatever the fuck that is. I didn't like, it was a violent crime, but it wasn't like to the point I had to go to prison for like almost 11, 12 years. It was just no point of it. I'm not a predator. I'm not a bank robber, child molester, whatever. I just did a violent crime to my neighbor, and I'm very sorry for it. And I wish I could say more, but I can't because I just don't want to sponsor anybody or get anybody in trouble or whatever, you know. So that's my video. Hit that subscribe button if you care about this video, and have a good one.